there's a popular YouTuber named RiceGum. Speaking of Asian people.
Oh, jeez.
His name's RiceGum. And I think he's like 17 or maybe 19. I don't know. I don't really watch the guy. I watched his one video to see what the controversy was about because he had called out this 10-year-old girl for posting basically, like, you know, those Instagram pictures where the girls are like, they got their makeup on and they're like, you know, duck face, and like then they have the pose where they're sticking their ass out and like doing, I don't even know how to do it, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like the selfie pose.
Say
where
yes,
the selfie pose where you stick your ass, the girl's sticking their ass out, and you know. Anyway, the point is, he came across this girl. Now, like I said, the guy's 19, so he didn't grow up with Blink-182. He doesn't know who the hell Travis Barker is. He didn't even mention it in his video. It's hashtagged with Travis Barker's name on it.
Yeah. And
so she was posting all these pictures of her with like celebrities and, you know, this guy's like, who is this girl? Like, you know, she's saying, I'm bored and you got an iPhone 6S. It's like, girl, like I didn't have an iPhone 6S when I was younger, you know, blah, 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 blah. And anyway, the point is this girl turns out is the daughter of Travis Barker and Miss Alabama, I believe, or some Miss USA person.
Oh shit!
And so he made this video. He does these videos where he talks about other people on social media, you know, like YouTubers and now Instagram and whatever else. He like kind of makes fun of them in a way. So anyway, his video got copyright striked from Travis Barker's production company or whatever, you know, basically saying, because you use images of my daughter's who was on Instagram, we're pulling it from YouTube, you know. And of course, Travis Barker's a millionaire and RiceGum isn't. So he said he did file a counterclaim, and he may or may not take him to court over it if it gets to that. Which it probably will, which will be interesting because I think this is the first time we have a YouTube celebrity facing off in court against a music celebrity or Hollywood celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
like, and
she posted it to Instagram.
You would have to see the pictures with, you know, obviously if you want to pull it up. But it was.
But honestly, he's doing. It's a bad move.
It is and it isn't. It's kind of hard for him. Like we're talking about it without.
It's the same. It's the same. It's the same pretending of protection when like celebrities, you know, are like, I have a right to my privacy. It's like, well, you do and you don't. I said, but what my problem is when the same shit happens to celebrities happen with normal people, and they're allowed to sue, but the celebrities aren't. Except this is the opposite way. If that guy did this to anybody else on Instagram, they could bring that lawsuit. They could bring that to YouTube, and the YouTube's going to be like, "Oh, go fuck yourself." She posted that shit on Instagram. You're not.
It's a fine line because I think in the terms of service, it says something about, you know, these images are public, or I don't know what it says, but basically you're releasing copyright. So it's
so how's he claiming copyright if you release copyright by posting? I mean, Facebook. That's what everybody was up in arms about at first with Facebook. Well, it's because they were using your pictures for wherever the fuck they wanted, and it's like, well, you know, we said not only did they, you know, think about that, they thought about that when they first started Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they didn't think about that later on when there was a bunch of followers, you know, a bunch of people on Facebook. They thought about that right away.
Yeah, that's been in the agreement since the beginning. Like,
and you know damn well, Twitter, Instagram, any of that, you don't have that privacy. Everybody thinks they have privacy and then free speech at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room where you can't have both of them.
Well, yeah, if you're posting anything on YouTube or whatever, like we are.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people can, this is what his argument was. This is really going to be, unfortunately, fair use is a legal defense. It's not really a law where you can just like dismiss a case. Like it has to go through the court process, unfortunately.
But that's going to open it up to everybody everybody ever is going to start suing people, and it's going to A, lock up the court, and B, cost so much money, and it's going to stop almost everything on the internet if people keep doing this.
If I were him, and this is what we're doing in this video, because I easily could have loaded some images up and put them on screen right now of this. Yeah. I think her name's Alabama. I don't know if the girl's I don't know if her mom is Miss Alabama. I'm assuming that because her name is Alabama, the girl. But RiceGum did bring up a good point, and that's that according to the terms of service of Instagram, you have to be 13 years old at least to use that service.
And she's not 13?
Definitely. She was actually 9.
She's taking those pictures?
Well, he had said the pictures that are up are she had just turned 10. Like she had like a birthday thing.
Yeah.
So all the pictures he showed was when she was 9 years old. And this girl made herself, like Honey Boo Boo looks like not like an adult, but like wears makeup like an adult and wears clothing like adults do, like tight dress, like those club dresses and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm on RiceGum's side, not for the fair use stuff, because I think that's why we don't put stuff up so much, because we already had that issue where we got a copyright strike, and it's hard to fight that stuff because the next step is having to take that guy to court if I want to fight it. And at that point, the video,
but that's ridiculous. That's why I said about YouTube is,
well, they err on the side of the DMCA, which is the law, the federal law that says they have to act in accordance with the copyright holder.
Yeah, but there's no copyright. That's what I'm saying. Travis Barker doesn't have a copyright on pictures.
Why?
On Instagram. It says terms of service.
What do you mean?
You give up that copyright.
You do?
Now,
to who, though?
You give it up to Instagram.
Okay, but then RiceGum has to deal with the Instagram lawyers, right. I guess.
That's exactly right. Is Travis Barker would have to contact Instagram and force or ask them, and actually he can only ask them, he can't force them to then sue him.
My question is it illegal, because that's a good point, is it illegal to file a false DMCA claim if it's not your own copyright? And I would guess they probably have that.
Yeah, I can't just go to Adam Carolla and sue him for the same thing that
whoever it was, Acacia.
Yeah, I was gonna call them what they get pissed off for being called. Copyright troll.
Yeah.
I can't just claim that same copyright to Adam Carolla and make him go through that same shit they went through with the other company. It's fucking ridiculous. The court's gonna say, go fuck yourself. We know who owns that copyright. We already dealt through this.
Yeah, I don't.
There's people, when you file a lawsuit, it doesn't just automatically go into the justice system. Somebody looks at that and they could tell you go fuck yourself. They really can. It's just like I'm saying, like, what if I said like Aaron raped me?
Mm-hmm.
If the prosecutor, if the district attorney doesn't believe it, that's not going to court. It doesn't matter how much I say it.
Right.
If the district attorney doesn't want to take it to court, he's not taking it to court.
DMCA, which stands for the Digital Millennial Copyright Act, is a civil law. So if you take somebody to court over it, it's it's not
There's
like
still people that look at that shit and say
the judge doesn't know that.
Yeah, be like, oh no, we're not going through with this. This is nonsense.
Well, that's the thing, is who owns the copyright? Is it in the terms of service for Instagram that copyright gets... I think it's non-exclusive, and if it's a non-exclusive release, then he's okay to be following that. But my question is, can you legally... Because it wasn't like he was just using these images.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was criticizing the parenting. He didn't know who the parents were. He was just saying, whoever this girl's parents are, you should take her phone away, which is what I agree with. I don't think 10-year-olds should have iPhones. I'm sorry. They shouldn't, because the internet is going to fuck their heads up, in my opinion. That's just how I am, though. I mean, like, They don't need to be on Instagram or on Facebook. And here's another thing somebody brought up because of this case, because of this whole thing. The whole thing with like internet bullying. Well, guess what? If you take your kid off of Facebook, if you take your kid off of Twitter and all those other ones, people can't bully them online, can they? I guess I could put stuff up and then they find out about it in school.
I don't know.
But my point is, my aunt actually got into an argument with my cousin about this because she wanted to post pictures up on Facebook of her in a bathing suit. And now her daughter doesn't like her. She's in that 12-year-old, 13-year-old stage. And I agree with my aunt because, I hate to say it, there's websites out there, jailbait sites is what they call them.
Oh, yeah.
Where they got girls who are in clothing and it's completely legal. And unfortunately, you can't find the guy who posted them originally because they're hidden.
Yeah, that's the thing about kids anyway. It's like we've had, like, I'm going to renew JoShow.rocks today. And we've been sitting on a year because every time, like, I make something on the website, it's like, oh, do I really want to have this on there? Or, you don't know. And then you have to think hard about what he can and can't do. Like they have that kid, Evan HD. He kind of wants to do something like that, except for he doesn't have this abundance of toys to be opening up and shit.
Right.
And he wants to play video games, which I fucking hate. But he really doesn't want to play video games. As soon as he starts playing and stuff, he's not going to want to do that. So it's hard to decide, not only like the images we put out there, but also what content he can put out there, because then you have to watch what he's saying and what he,
I like what this girl, her name's Lieutenant Corbis, did. She didn't, I don't know what, she should have never showed her face to begin with, but she was getting called out for people were saying she's a boy. So, you know how kids are, like, they want to prove, oh, you're wrong. Or actually adults do that too. They want to be right, What's that meme where it's like, I don't want to go to bed. Somebody's arguing with me on the internet. They're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So, but, Lieutenant Corbis should have been like, look, I know I'm a girl. If you don't want to believe me, whatever. But then, see, her revealing her face actually got her a bigger audience because once it was proven that she is an 11-year-old girl, then people were like, wow, she's funny in like almost a George Carlin way where like she cusses but it makes sense to the comedy part, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if you have to watch the videos, but she plays video games and she's like basically like it's just funny. It's just funny because she calls out pedophiles. She calls out stupid people on Call of Duty.